Hello, everyone. Hello, Chrissy family. Let me see if we are connected. Just want to make sure you can hear me and see me well. You can drop a comment just in case you can't see me or if there's any issues, please let me know with a comment. Um, you can post a comment in the bottom and I will see it as you do so. Great. Okay, we have some people dropping in. We'll take a minute or so because I know there's a different time all over the world. I'm in New York City right now, so it's 2 p.m. here. If you're in Europe, it's 8 p.m. If you're in, hey, Jennifer. Good. You can hear me well? Thumbs up? Okay. Yes, if you're on the West Coast of US, it's 3 hours behind, so it's 11 a.m. So yeah, just take your time to settle yourself in. Don't worry if you've never done yoga before. Make sure you have a mat for today. So if you don't have a yoga mat at home, a towel will do or a blanket. You'll see as we move. Or you can also abandon and just go on the floor so you don't slide if you don't have a mat. I'll go ahead and introduce myself. I'm Natasa Babic. I live in Brooklyn, New York. Is where I am right now. So literally, welcome to my home. Hi from the Caribbean. Oh, God, I wish I was there right now. It is a rainy, gray day in New York City, and it's rather cold here. But spring is coming, I hear. So as everybody's slowly dropping in, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I've been a yoga teacher. I've been practicing yoga for probably 20 years, teaching, 10 years very actively teaching for the past 8 years here in New York City. I teach. I've also taught internationally when I travel back to Europe. My husband's Italian, through which I am connected to Cressy because they're friends. It's an Italian connection. I'm originally from Slovenia, actually, Europe. So I travel back to Italy quite often, at least once, sometimes twice a year. So yes, I've been teaching mostly in New York City, but also sometimes I bring my teaching back to Europe when I travel. We'll start today. I like to start right away or very soon whenever you guys are settled. You can come onto your mats, but let's just talk a little bit about what we'll do before we go onto our mat and I'm away from the screen and maybe you don't see me that well. You'll see me more moving well. So I've been thinking a lot about connections between diving and yoga, and I was amazed at how many connections there are and beautiful connections. Like it's a very in sync philosophy, and the experience itself has a lot of things in common. So one of them, I feel like the strongest connection is the breath, and that is something we'll be working with today. We won't just do that. We'll do our usual physical yoga practice, but we will specifically begin and end with our breathing techniques. Today, we'll do a simple breathing technique, which is basically extending your breath, extending the inhale, but specifically more extending the exhale. I'll talk a little bit more about it later. So that's something I would really like to focus today. But I find the beautiful connection between diving and yoga has been so surprising. I myself am not a diver, but I love the ocean and I feel very at home underneath the water. So I feel swimming and just being underneath the water for me is a way of practice. And when I talk about practice, I usually talk about the yoga practice or the meditation practice. But I believe we all have a practice and it doesn't need to be yoga or meditation. For divers, your diving is a way of practicing, right? It's a way of getting in contact with yourself, finding, once you're underwater and your breath is controlled, you can't think about the rest of the world or problems or whatever it is you have. So in a way, that's your practice of, getting in tune with yourself. So I believe we all have our own practice in the way. For some people, it might be cooking, whatever it is, or biking. You know, we all have our own ways to get in tune with ourselves. But specifically right now that we cannot go outside and go diving or running or whatever it is that we usually like to call our practice, yoga and breath techniques are a beautiful way to go inside, de-stress, and calm our minds. And just get in tune with ourselves, because times are so overwhelming right now. It's so, what I find a beautiful thing about it, this not so beautiful experience, is that it's happening globally and it's happening to all of us, and we're connected through it. And I've been experiencing how communities are coming together through this. So since we can go outside, how can we bring the practice that we're used to having in our lives into our world, into our apartments, houses, wherever it is that you live? How can we find ways to calm our mind and feel where we're at, right? So without too much talking, I want to go right ahead onto our mat. And know that we'll do our practice now for the next 20 minutes. And then once we finish, we are going to have time to do comments. So at that point, I will have a little bit more time to look at your comments if you have any questions or concerns or want to know more. And I will hope to see you again, well, as we plan to do this more often. So welcome again, Chrissy family. Please make your way onto your mat if you're not there yet. And you're just going to go ahead and clench your feet and bend your knees and come to lie down on your back to start. And if you lie down on your back, separate your feet as wide as the mat and allow your inner knees to touch. And as you do so, take a moment to bring your left palm onto your heart and your right hand onto your belly. Take a moment to settle yourself in here. Okay. Wanted to make sure that the stream is going well. And as you come here, you can keep your eyes open or closed, whatever serves you best. But take a moment to notice your breath. Notice the inhale and the exhale. And then imagine your rib cage like a cylinder. And that cylinder goes from your rib cage all the way down into your waistband. So all the way from the top of the hip point to the top of your rib cage, which is almost your shoulders here, right? The ribs go all the way up. Imagine that space like a cylinder, and that cylinder wraps from the front, the sides, and the back, right? It's multidimensional, right? It's not just the front or the side. So imagine a moment that cylinder wrapping around your ribs and your waist. And as you inhale, breathe into all sides of that cylinder, front, back, and especially the sides of the ribs. And on your exhale, let the exhale come back to the center of that cylinder. Again, inhale that image as you widen the breath into all sides of the cylinder. And exhale, slowly coming back to center. And I'm going to count the breath. Inhale for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. And then let that go. And as I instruct breath today with movement, if you're breathing in a different pattern than what I'm instructing, if your breath comes earlier or later, please feel free to breathe whatever comes natural, right? There's no need to force anything. You should feel like you can breathe in and out without too much pressure. So you don't need to follow my lead, but if the way I'm counting the breath comes naturally, or the way I'm instructing the breath comes naturally, then do that. So let's take an inhale here. Keep your feet mat distance apart and inner knees are touching. And on your exhale, just windshield wipe your knees to the left. So I'm just rolling the knees all the way to the left. Inhale, knees come back through center, pointing to sky. Exhale, windshield wipe your knees to the right. You can open your arms here into T. Inhale, come through center. Exhale to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale to the right. Inhale, come through center. And on your exhale, heel toe your feet together to touch. And then hug your knees into the chest and give yourself a squeeze. And then keep your right shin in your chest and plant your left foot onto the mat. Reach your right heel up towards the ceiling, and you're going to interlace your fingers behind your right hamstring. I'm going to try to extend the leg any amount, but then again, if my knees bend here, that is totally fine. So just do your best, right? Soften your shoulders away from your ears. Press the hamstring, the back of your thigh into your palms, and then extend your left leg down the mat and reach your left heel forward into the space in front of you strongly. I'm actively reaching through my heels. And then soften your shoulders down. Are you still breathing? So find an inhale here. And then on your exhale, bend both knees into the chest and give them a squeeze. And keep your left shin in your chest and plant your right foot on the ground. Reach your left heel up towards the ceiling, interlacing your fingers behind your left hamstring. And extend your right leg down the mat as you reach your left heel up towards the sky. Soften the shoulders down. That's it. Soften your jaw. Softening that bottom jaw away from the top. Keep reaching apart through the heels more. Again, if the knees bend, that's fine. But just try to extend it any amount you can without exaggerating anything. Take one more inhale here. And on your following exhale, hug both knees into the chest. As you hug both knees into the chest, now grab a hold of the backs of your knees right behind your knee creases here. Then slowly start rocking up and down your mat. And give it a couple of rocks. And then maybe next time you rock forward, you're going to come through seated, crossing your shins. You can grab a hold of your feet to do that. And rock forward onto all fours. Walk myself back so I find my mat. And as you come onto all fours, I'm going to take my crappy sweater off, hoodie off, just so you can see me better what I'm doing. Walk your hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, and then look at your palms. Spread the fingers. You're going to ground the thumb and index edge of your palm down. And then look at your elbows and dial your elbows back to face your thighs. Yeah? On your inhale, flip the tailbone to sky, slowly arching through the spine, crown of the head lift. Exhale, round, tailbone drops, widen the back ribs towards the sky. Inhale, flip the tailbone to sky, slowly arching through the whole spine, crown of the head lift. On your exhale, drop the tailbone, belly to spine, press the back ribs to sky. One more full inhale, flip the tailbone to sky, crown of the head lift. Exhale, tailbone drops, round through the whole spine. On your next inhale, come into neutral spine and then open your knees slightly wider than your hips. Bring your big toes together to touch. Send your sitting bones back towards your heels and walk your fingertips slightly further forward, coming into child's pose. And maybe the forehead reaches towards the ground here, whatever is accessible. As we move here, please know, move on what feels right for you, right? You are at your own homes here, so be nice to yourself, be gentle, do what feels right, and you can always rest in child's pose if you need to. Now take one more inhale here. Exhale, plant your palms down, spread the fingers. Again, wrapping your elbows down, wrapping your outer upper arms down. Keep your palms where they are. Inhale, rock through all fours just enough to tuck your toes under. Then lift your hips up and back into downward facing dog. Now give a bend to the knees to start. So bend your knees, press the floor away from you with your hands, and lift your sitting bones up and back more. So I'm lifting my sitting bones away from my heels like crazy. That's it. And then reach your right heel towards the ground as you bend the left knee and pedaling through the feet. And then exhale, switch, bend the right knee, reach your left heel to the ground. Inhale, switch. Exhale, right heel towards the ground. Inhale, switch. Exhale, left heel towards the ground. Inhale, bend both knees. Exhale, both heels reach towards the ground. Extending the legs any amount, but notice if your spine is rounding. So if you're rounding your spine a lot, I would prefer you to have a little bend to the knees and really lift the sitting bones up and back. Keep lifting the sitting bones up and back. Then slowly on your following exhale, walk your hands back towards your feet. Take it nice and slow until your heels ground and you come into a forward fold at the bottom of your mat. Soften your knees here and allow your torso to lay over your thighs any amount. Soften the neck. You can rock your head a little no. Give it a little no, and a little yes. And if you want, you can grab a hold of opposite elbows here and gently sway side to side, releasing the lower back. And release the fingertips towards the floor. On your inhale, reach your sternum forward and bend your knees. Exhale, bring your hands onto your hips, like, I don't know, you're skiing down a slope. Ground into the heels. Inhale, come all the way up to stand as you extend your arms by your side. On your inhale, reach out and up and hook your thumbs above you. On your exhale, reach your fingertips up and over to the right. Inhale, straight up to sky. Exhale, up and over to the left. Inhale, straight up to sky. On your exhale, forward fold over your legs and hook your thumbs behind you. Again, you can give a bend to the knees if needed. Lift the shoulders away from your ears strongly. Bend your knees deeply and come halfway up. You're going to reach your sitting bones, your fingertip back, but gaze towards the top of your mat. Again, like you're skiing down a slope. Take one more inhale here. And then exhale, bring your fingertips to the ground and slowly, like you're, I don't know, a puma, walk your fingertips down the mat until you come into plank, slowly walking yourself into plank. I'm gonna lock my hands right underneath my shoulders here. Press into your heels. Draw the belly to spine. Inhale, rock forward. Exhale, slowly lower all the way down onto your belly. Untuck your toes, forehead rests on the mat. Open your fingertips beyond the boundaries of the mat. I'm gonna bend my elbows here and come onto my tented fingers. Reach the toes back. Lengthen the tailbone back as you press the pubic bone into the earth. Inhale, pull your sternum forward and up. Belly to spine. Exhale, pull the sternum forward and down. We'll do that again. Inhale, pull the sternum forward and up. Exhale, forward and down. One more. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, forward and down. Inhale, hands underneath shoulders. Exhale, tuck your toes under and press yourself through all fours back into downward facing dog, lifting the hips up and back. On your inhale, lift your right heel high. Exhale, knee into chest. Step your right foot forward inside of your right palm. And if it doesn't get all the way inside of the palm, you can grab a hold of your ankle and just step it further forward. So your knee is right above your ankle here. Lower the back knee down. On your inhale, reach your palms to sky and hook your thumbs above you again. Exhale, fingertips to the ground, back toes tucked under. Inhale, step forward, reach your sternum forward, hands on shins, straight spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach your arms out and up to stand. Exhale, extend your arms by your side and stand tall like you're on the top of a mountain. Inhale, reach up, hook your thumbs above you. Exhale, dive forward like you're diving into a pool of water. Inhale, sternum forward, hands can come on shins. Exhale, bend your knees, step your right foot way back, back knee lowers. Hook thumbs, inhale, fingertips to sky. Exhale, hands to the ground, step back into downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward into plank. Exhale slowly all the way down onto your back. Inhale, baby cobra, shoulder blades together on the back, lift the heart. Exhale, press back through all fours, downward facing dog. Inhale, left heel high. Exhale, step your left foot all the way forward. And again, you can grab the ankle, lower the back knee. Inhale, hook thumbs, reach up. Exhale, hands to the ground, back toes stuck. Inhale, step forward, come halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up, out and up to stand. Exhale, extend your arms by your side, grow tall. Inhale, reach up, hook your thumbs above you. Exhale, dive forward into the ocean. Inhale, halfway up, hands on shins. Exhale, step your left foot way back, lower the back knee down. Inhale, hook thumbs, reach your fingertips to sky. Exhale, hands to the ground, step back into downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward into plank. Exhale, lower all the way down to your belly. Inhale, baby cobra, hug the elbows in. On your exhale, slide your palms back so they anchor your lower ribs. Inhale, upward facing dog. Rock onto the tops of the feet, extend your arms. Exhale, lift your hips up and back into down dog. You'll take a full inhale here and a full exhale. Now take an inhale here, and on your exhale, slowly walk your hands back towards your feet, finding a forward fold at the bottom of your mat again. Inhale, bend your knees as you reach your sternum forward. Exhale, hands on hips, ground into the heels. Inhale all the way up to stand. Exhale, extend your arms by your side. And as you extend your arms by your side, make fists with your hands like we're about to lift something heavy. And then on your inhale, reach your arms forward and up. Exhale, turn your thumbs back as you do a luscious back stroke. All the way back, 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 back. Reach your hands back. They want to touch each other on their back, but they can't. But then slowly bend the elbows and interlace your fingers behind you. Draw the shoulder blades together on the back and allow the heart to lift. And then exhale, forward fold over your legs and reach your knuckles up and over you. And you can bend your knees here if needed. Soften your neck. Rock your head a little yes and no. You're doing great. Take one more inhale here. Exhale. And then inhale, bend your knees and come halfway up again into that skier's pose, reaching the knuckles back. Exhale, fingertips to the ground. And then slowly animal walk yourself forward into downward facing dog, lifting the hips up and back as you do so. On your inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, lower the knees to the ground and find child's pose. Untuck your toes, reach your sitting bones back towards your heels. Let the forehead land. You'll take a full inhale here and a full long exhale. Take a nice wide inhale into the wide ribs here and a long exhale. One more inhale. And then slowly on your exhale, roll up to sit on your shins. Now you're going to send your hips to the side and reach your feet forward in front of you. Scoot yourself forward on your mat so you'll have space to lie down. And then reach your palms forward here as you inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, slowly roll all the way down onto your back. And then slide your heels closer towards your sitting bones distance apart. So if I extend my fingertips by my side here, my tops of my fingers are almost touching my heels. Grab a hold of the outer edges of your mat with your hands, like literally grab a hold of the outer edges of the mat. Ground onto your feet, and on your inhale, lift your hips up into bridge. Pull the mat apart as you roll your upper arms underneath you and draw the shoulder blades together on the back. Do you see my upper arms rolling underneath me? That's it. Now lift your hips just a little higher and lift the back of the heart towards your chin more. Ground into your inner heels and stay here with the mat for today with your hands. You'll take one more full inhale here, and then on your exhale, slowly lower the pelvis down. Hands on hips. You can bring your hands on your belly here. Separate your feet as wide as the mat and let the inner knees touch. And slowly open your arms into T. If you don't have space for T, you can always bend your elbows like a cactus. Take an inhale here. On your exhale, windshield wipe your knees to the left. Inhale, come through center. Exhale to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Then exhale, heel toe your feet together to touch and hug your knees into the chest. And you could rock a little left and right, massaging the sacrum on the mat. And then open your knees here. I'm going to finish in happy baby. I'm going to open my knees. And then as you bring my arms inside my legs here, in between my legs, and you can either grab a hold of your outer shins, ankles, or outer feet, whatever is accessible, right? Some of us do have a practice, some of us don't. So I feel like anybody can do this pose wherever you are in whatever capacity, right? Take one more inhale here, lengthen your tailbone away from the back of your skull. And then exhale, hug your knees into the chest. Draw your chin towards your chest and lift the gaze towards your navel and literally squeeze yourself small. Take an inhale here, full exhale, squeeze yourself even smaller. And then on your inhale, fly yourself open like a starfish. You can even open your arms and extend your legs down the mat. Sometimes this opening of the arms feels good. I call this position starfish. But if you want to feel more grounded, you can extend your arms by your side and try both and see what feels better. So opening arms above you opens the chest more. Extending your arms by your side feels a little bit more grounded. Wherever we are, we're going to take this moment to find our breath again. And as we find our breath, with our eyes closed here, You're going to imagine your rib cage and waistband like a cylinder again. And as you inhale, widen into all sides of the cylinder. Exhale, coming back to center. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. And inhale naturally and exhale naturally. And allow your breath to move back to its natural place. And observe. And as we observe ourselves on our mat here, can you see yourself? Right, because our humans are so prone to criticism, but can you simply see yourself the way you look at fish in the water? Some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller. Some of them are colorful, some of them have stripes on. Can you observe yourself without attaching or wanting to change anything? Simply taking yourself in as you are. And slowly let that go. And take a full exhale. And slowly bringing awareness back to your body. You can wiggle your toes, your fingers. Taking your time to bend your knees, plant your feet. You can reach your arms up and above you to stretch. And then roll all the way over to your right side. Pressing your left palm into the ground to press yourself up to seated. Find a comfortable seat. I'm going to come closest towards you so you can see each other better. Thank you so much for practicing with me, Chrissy family. Thank you for sticking around. It was a short practice, but I sincerely hope that you managed to find a little bit more space for breath. So thank you again. And remember, right, times can be stressful. So whenever in doubt, breathe and lengthen your exhales. Did you notice how at the end we were lengthening our exhales? That is a great way, because when we are stressed, you will notice you're inhaling. You're doing short inhales, but the exhales are hardly there. And that can happen the same on the water, right? You're stressed and you're inhaling and creating less space for breath. Deep exhales will ground you, will calm you down, and will provide more space for longer inhale. Okay, that's it for me. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you, Liz. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Alessandro. Go diving forever, yes. My back hurts, Pete. Oh, from what we just did? Well, what we did, there was a lot of forward folding, so it should actually help. So Sometimes in yoga, there's back bending, which we're not used to do. So sometimes the lower back can be tender, but it actually is released afterwards. So you'll see. You'll see. So that's it. I'm going to slowly, if you have any comments that you want to add for the next 5 minutes or so, please be my guest to comment, and I'll do my best to answer if I see anything popping up. But we will try to do this maybe every Friday. So we'll do different things. We'll do different breathing techniques, and we'll do different movements to help open the body. It was interesting for me to, as I was observing divers and yogis, right? And I know the old school yogis all have this huge rib cage. You ever look at pictures of like Iyengar and the famous old yogis? They are all these men with huge rib cages. You think, why? They're like doing all these stretches. Why do they have these big rib cages? Well, because of the breath work. And it's similar for divers, right? You're all working in this area a lot. So another connection that I thought was fascinating between diving and yoga. Okay, I'm going to slowly close. I don't see that many comments here, so I just want to thank you wherever you are around the world. Be well, stay well, be careful. Yes, Suzanne is telling me diving requires these breathing techniques as well. Yes, right? The extension of the breath. So specifically in yoga, we're breathing through the nose more. But otherwise, the techniques are very similar. And they actually recommend to do yoga breathing, right, for diving. So again, thank you so much. We'll tune back in on Friday. And in the meantime, stay well, be safe, and whenever in doubt, long exhale. Okay, bye everyone. I'm Natasha. Just in case if you want to stay in contact with me, namaste Natasha, Theo, namaste Theo. If you want to stay in contact with me, my Instagram handle is Natasa, Natasha without an H, Natasa Babic NYC. So Natasa Babic NYC. Or you can also find my Facebook page on Facebook, which is Natasa Babic YOGA. Okay, that's it. Thank you, everyone. Stay well.